What's up, everybody? This is AnP, and this is the Metabolic Chronicles podcast. I recorded this shit before, but my computer decided it was time to freeze, so I'm re-recording all this shit all over again. Plus, I had no energy in the first one. I just sounded like some guy that was mad nervous that I was on the mic. But, yeah. UFC Fight Night. It was pretty interesting. There was some boring fights. Some really boring fights, but I'll get into that. First off, let's talk about the fight everybody wanted to see. Not that I really wanted to see, but it's kind of like the fight the UFC forced you to see. Tim Elliot versus Mighty Mouse. I thought Tim Elliot was going to get finished in the first. I thought he didn't stand a chance in hell. He proved me wrong. He almost finished Mighty Mouse in the first with a guillotine. But Mighty Mouse just did what Mighty Mouse does and got out the shit. And after that, the whole fight was all Mighty Mouse. Second, third, fourth, and fifth, all Mighty Mouse. You know, there was dudes complaining online, oh, it wasn't domination. Tim Elliot lasted the whole 5 rounds. It was domination. Tim Elliot didn't do shit for 4 of the 5 rounds. All he kept doing was getting taken down, and Mighty Mouse was just threatening him with submissions, punching him in the face. I don't know if that's not domination. I don't know if that was a street fight and I just see one dude getting taken down every single time and getting his head punched or almost getting choked out every fucking time. Yeah, that's domination. I don't know about you, but that's domination. Yeah, it was straight domination. It's hard to sell Mighty Mouse right now because he's so fucking dominant. He makes everybody look so whack. And the thing is that division isn't whack. It's just Mighty Mouse is so goddamn good. It's hard. Yeah, Mighty Mouse is that nigga, and he deserves that number one pound for pound position. I don't see nobody beating him in a while. I see why he's unmotivated. It's kind of hard for him to wake up and fight the same guys over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. But that's his job. That's what he got to do. So yeah. Mighty Mouse is that dude, plain and simple. Let's go on to the second co-main event. The co-main event, the co-main event, Jiu-Jitsu, or Joseph Benavidez versus Henry Cejudo. I gave the first round to Benavidez. It was a close first round. If you didn't take the point away from Cejudo, it was a close fucking first round. You could have gave it a draw. That first round was done back and forth a lot. Cejudo did get that knockdown, so you could have gave it to him. But even then, that round was still really fucking close. Benavidez landed like these nice ass head kicks as well. It was a close round, but since Cejudo lost that round, they took away that point for the 2 low kicks. You got to give it Benavidez. Second round, another close ass round, extremely fucking close. I thought Cejudo got the better of him in that round. I thought he got the better of Benavidez that round, so I gave it to Cejudo. Third round was all Benavidez. It was still a close round, but Benavidez, he had control of that round. He landed the cleaner shots. A lot of times Cejudo was swinging that air, and Benavidez was making him pay for it. Even though Benavidez did get hit with a couple shots, but yeah, Cejudo lost that. One of the judges scored it 26 to 20. Was it 27 to 20? No, 26 to 29. Cejudo. How? That score was ridiculous. Whoever that judge was needs to get cancer in his fucking eye. That shit was horrible. Next, let's go to Jake Ellenberger versus Jorge Masvidal, my nigga. Masvidal's record should be a lot better than what it is. A lot of fights I felt he won that he lost by decision. Um, I don't know what it is, but it's like for some reason judges hate Jorge Masvidal. It's like he's almost like Frankie Edgar. That there's some fights that you know he won and the judges still give it to the other guy. Um, yeah, Jorge Masvidal put a beating on fucking Jake Ellenberger. Jake Ellenberger had his moments, but if that fight would have kept on, Ellenberger would have lost. He would have got finished in a second. Um, he tried to kick Masvidal, and Masvidal moved the fuck out the way, and he ran into the cage, and his toe got stuck between the cage and the mat, and he started taking a beating, and then Herb Dean stopped it. I guess to get Jake Ellenberger's foot out from the cage, but since he stopped it, the people at ringside said the fight was over. Herb Dean tried to plead with them to make the fight go on, but I guess once they make the decision, that's the way it goes. But he was gonna lose by TKO anyway. Jorge Masvidal was beating dog shit out of him. I didn't see him standing a fucking chance. They need to give Jorge Masvidal like a top 5 guy already. I liked Jorge at 170. I liked him at 155 too. But 170 I think is a better weight class for him. He don't have to cut that much weight, and he seems to fight a lot better. Shout out to Jorge Masvidal, kid. He's nice. Let's talk about Ion Cutelaba versus Jared Cannonier. This was a dope ass fight. This might be fight of the night if Joseph Benavidez and Henry Cejudo fight never happened. But it was a great fucking fight. Cutelaba was all about mind games from the jump. When they announced his name, he walked all the way to Cannonier's fucking corner and fucking did the neck slit shit on him. Like, yeah, nigga, today's your day. And then walked back to his corner. No, the ref pushed him back to his corner and shit. And in that first round, he was throwing fucking bombs. He was trying to kill Cannonier. But Cannonier weathered through that shit. And then in the second round, Cannonier started finding his fucking rhythm. And he started peppering the shit out of... I gotta keep looking at his fucking name. Cutelaba. He kept, fucking jabbing the shit out of Cutelaba and started hitting him with nice little straights. And then he just started countering Cutelaba because Cutelaba was like bringing his punches all the way down from North Carolina and shit so that you could see them coming a mile away, and he would just duck and then counter him, and just that fight went on like that. And then in the third round, Cutelaba didn't have much in the tank. His punches didn't have pop. Like, Cannonier was even letting him hit him, and he was just walking towards him like, yeah, motherfucker, what's up now? What's all that shit you were talking? And then, he was just rocking the shit out of Cutelaba. But, yeah, I want to see more of Cutelaba. He seems like an exciting fighter. I want to see more of him in the UFC. I like Cannonier, too. I think, though, Cutelaba is going to be a better fighter than him because he showed more skills in that fight. His gas tank just gave up on him. So yeah, I hope we see more Cutelaba at 205. It was a good fight. Next up is Sara McMann versus Alexis Davis. Sara McMann did what Sara McMann does. She wrestled the girl, brought her down, elbowed her, and then fucking choked her out in the second round. And she did the same thing in the first. Took her down and caught her with a couple elbows, and her face was kind of looking like mush. Alexis Davis didn't have nothing for her. I mean, Sara McMann's built like a fucking dude. She's fucking strong. So, yeah. Next up is a fight I like. I didn't like the judges' scorecards because I thought, again, another retarded ass judge that I don't know what fucking fight they're watching. Brandon Moreno versus Ryan Benoit. This was a good ass fight. It was was a close fight. Each round was close, but I had Moreno winning every round. Moreno was just a better fighter all around. He was a better wrestler. Um, Granted, Benoit had more power in his punches, but Moreno was getting the better of the exchanges. Moreno was getting the takedowns. Um, yeah, he was just a better all around fighter. He won every fucking round. One of the judges gave it to Moreno. I mean to Benoit. I don't know how, but then two of the judges gave it to Moreno. So I wasn't mad about it, but it was like it should have not been a split decision. There's no way that fight should have been a split decision. It was just yeah, man. It was fucking it was a good fight. I really like watching that fight. Next fight is probably candidate for. Give me a second. I'll be right back. Hello. Yeah, I'm here. Yeah. Yeah. So Gray Manor versus Ryan Hall. That's my number one candidate for worst fight of the year, and it's not Gray Manor's fault. It's completely Ryan Hall's fault. Um. Oh, there's not enough bad things I can say about Ryan Hall. Um. This is a guy that was winning on the stand up, winning on the stand up, and instead of dodging and weaving a punch like normal people do, this fucking moron will literally throw himself on the ground like a kid throwing a tantrum whenever Gray Maynard would throw a punch in his direction and try to go for a fucking heel hook every single goddamn time. It got to the point where it was so fucking bad. Like, Maynard would just like flinch, throw a feint, and this dude would literally throw himself on the ground and try to go for a heel hook, and it was just out of control. Like, you're winning on the feet, bro. Slip and dodge, hit him. Stop throwing yourself on the ground for every little fucking thing. Like, he would literally hit Gray Maynard with a beautiful side kick or a hook kick. And then all of a sudden, when Gray Maynard would just throw his hand back to get ready to throw a punch, he would throw himself on the ground. It was annoying. Like, it got to the point where I wanted the fucking ref to take a fucking point for him. I was just like, yo, ref, stop. Like, tell this motherfucker stop throwing himself on the floor. He was looking like a fish. Like, whenever you drop a fish on the floor, like, he just looked like that. I hope they cut him from the UFC. I don't see him going far with that style of fighting. It's annoying to watch. It's stupid. It does. It's just terrible. It makes Damian Maia look like Chuck Liddell. Like, you're literally watching a Damian Maia fight like if you're watching a Chuck Liddell fight. Like, oh man, this shit is exciting. Compared to him, yeah. Fuck you, Ryan Hall. You ruined my night with that fight. Gray Manor, keep your head up. I like you at 145. But then again, Gray Manor's 37 years old. I don't know how many more fights he has left in him. It's the same thing with Ellenberger. They kind of old. I don't know how many fights they have in them. Yeah. But Ellenberger looks good though, because he's been fighting, training with Rafael Cordero. He's looked good. Like, he didn't look bad against Jorge Masvidal till Jorge Masvidal started piecing him up. But I think Gray Maynard is done. I can't see him fighting any of those top tier guys at 145. Yeah. But yeah, fuck Ryan Hall. Next fight is Matt Schnell versus Rob Font. Yeah, Rob Font hit Matt Schnell with his mean ass knee, and then fucking Schnell went down on the ground, and Rob Font beat dog shit out of him. Like, you know, niggas' head was catapulting off the fucking mat, and you know they stopped it, and they were supposed to. It's a cool fight for the 1 round that it lasted. You know. Then Dong Hyun Kim versus Brendan O'Reilly. Boring fucking fight. I hope I never see those two fight again. Just cut them from the UFC. It was a whack fight. So yeah, it was whack. Now there's up to Kaylin Curran versus Jamie Moyle. This was a good fight. I wish Kaylin Curran would use her advantages more. She's a tall fighter. She's great at striking, but for some reason, she seems to throw all that shit out the window when she's fighting. That kind of got me tight because Moyu was a great wrestler, and yeah, Moyu stuck to her game plan. Whenever Curran decided, oh, I don't need to fight you at distance, let me get close, Moyu will remind her why she should be fighting at distance. And Moyu will literally grab her and slam her and then keep her down on the ground and just, you know, ground and pound. And she did that for 3 rounds. And Kaylin Curran isn't a walk in the park, but she seems to do bad against wrestlers. But yeah, that was a cool fight. It was entertaining. Anthony Smith versus Elvis Mutochik. Anthony Smith versus Elvis Mutochik. Whatever, white boy. I ain't pronouncing anything. Mutochik won the first round. He was doing pretty good, but at the end of the first, he seemed gassed. Then all of a sudden, Smith just decided, "Oh, you're tired. Let me start jabbing the shit out of you," and started jabbing the shit out of him. And each jab was just going through. And then he started catching him with some hard ass shots, and Mutochik just didn't have nothing for him. And eventually, he was just like open mouth, breathing hard, and then Smith just beat the living shit out of him, knocked him out with his elbow. Boom! And then ground and pound him. It was over after that. But from what I was reading from the stats, Anthony Smith was like 37 years old. So it also could be age finally caught up with him. And the first fight of the night was Devin Clark versus Josh Stansbury. I wrote down boring fight. Clark won by decision. So I'm going to just take my word for it. It was probably a boring fight. Alright, so let's talk about other MMA news. Then we're going to talk about some boxing. But yeah. Conor McGregor got his boxing license. Everybody's going crazy. Especially the boxing world. Which I find hilarious because Conor just proved to everybody that he is the face of the fight game. Yeah. Now every 2-bit boxer wants to fight him. Excuse me. Now every 2-bit boxer wants to fight him. I find it hilarious. Because these same guys talking massive shit about MMA. But, yeah. You know, Paulie Malignaggi said he'll slap the shit out of Conor or he'll beat the shit out of Conor or whatever. And I'm like, Paulie Malignaggi has cotton balls for hands. Paulie Malignaggi couldn't beat off himself. His hands are so soft he can't even jerk off. It's just he's an embarrassment. You know, he needs to go back to the Jersey Shore with his Guido ass. Just shut the fuck up and stick to commentating. I thought you retired, you fucking bum. You know, Rigondeaux called him out too. I like Rigondeaux, but kind of has you by too much weight. Yeah. You know, they're talking about Mayweather, but I personally don't even want to see Mayweather fight no more. You know, supposedly Mayweather versus Pacquiao 2 is coming down the pipeline. I don't want to see that. the first one left a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths. I doubt anybody's gonna be rushing to go see the second one. Um, let's go back to MMA. The rumor mill is Tony Ferguson versus Habib Nurmagomedov at 155. I'm leaning towards Tony Ferguson. I think he just has more tools at his disposal than Habib. Habib can't do the stand up. Michael Johnson showed that big gaping hole in their fight. Um, if he tries to do that takedown shit, um, yeah, he's gonna get smoked by Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson got great wrestling. I don't know if it is as good as Habib's, but I think it's good enough to keep Habib off of him and neutralize his ground and pound. His stand up is way better than Habib's. Michael Johnson showed that to everybody. I mean, Michael Johnson almost knocked Habib out. There was a couple times where Habib was, excuse me, his legs were wiggling like a motherfucker. Tony Ferguson's a problem. Um, yeah, I'm leaning towards Tony Ferguson. I'm still thinking though that's gonna be fight of the year. I don't think it's gonna be an easy fight for Ferguson, but I don't think it's gonna be an easy night for Habib. Like I think Habib's going night. Probably late stoppage in the second or in the middle of the third. But I think Habib gets knocked out. As far as like Habib versus Conor, everybody's always like, oh, Habib needs to fight Conor. Habib needs to fight Conor. No, he doesn't. If Michael Johnson did that to him, imagine what Conor would do to him. I don't think Habib gets up from a Conor left. Conor's way more precise than Michael Johnson. He hits a lot harder because he just showed that with Eddie Alvarez. His power translates to 155 well. Yeah, I don't think Habib makes it anywhere. I don't think he beats Conor. He takes too much abuse just to get in the inside. And if he takes that much abuse getting to the inside, if your days are oriented or days and confused when you go for a takedown, Conor's just gonna reverse it because you're walking on fucking noodles, bro. So I think Habib doesn't stand a chance against Conor. I think Tony Ferguson stands a way better chance against Conor just because of his height and the length and then his awkwardness of his attacks. The only problem I have with Tony Ferguson is that yeah, bro, he gets hit a lot. So I don't know how well his chin is gonna hold up against Conor's strikes, because Conor hits really precise, and he seems to buckle a lot of people's chins. I mean, he did knock down Nate twice in the second fight, so, and he almost finished Nate in the first. But yeah, you gotta have a special chin to fuck with Conor. But like I said, if out of those two fighters, Habib or Tony, I'm leaning towards Tony as far as dumb fighting, and I'm leaning towards Tony as far as beating Conor. I don't think he beats Conor, but he has a real good chance of beating Conor. I don't think Habib does. But that big gaping hole that Michael Johnson showed the world is pretty obvious. And I don't think your hands are going to get that nice in that short amount of time to fuck with Conor. So, yeah, Habib doesn't stand a chance. Yeah. Let's talk about Anthony Pettis versus Max Holloway. Great fight. Great fucking fight. I'm leaning towards Max. I don't even like saying that because I'm a big Anthony Pettis mark. But Max Holloway just moves too much. The dude hits hard as fuck. He's stupid nice. Anthony Pettis, as of late, has become a flat-footed fighter. He doesn't move around like he used to. I think those losses to Dos Anjos, Eddie Alvarez, and Edson Barboza took a toll on him mentally. He fights a lot different now. Um, that fight with Alex Oliveira was pretty good. He didn't look like super spectacular, but he didn't look whack either. Um, Max Holloway's a big jump up in competition. Um, yeah, unless he can really hurt Max Holloway with like one of his body kicks or catch him with a clean ass head kick, I think it might be a long night for Anthony Pettis. Just because Max Holloway moves around too much at different angles and he's always doing combos. He's not just a 1-2 hit type of guy. It's like 1-2-3 hit, 4, and he threatens with takedowns too. So yeah, I don't see him beating Max. Like I said, unless he could land a nice clean shot, then Anthony Pettis, Showtime got it. But Showtime has to be mobile in this fight. He has to be old Showtime. If he's not old Showtime, I don't know what to tell you. But it's gonna be a long night for Pettis. Speaking of that, them fighting for an interim belt is bullshit. They shouldn't have to be fighting for an interim belt. I don't think they should fight for an interim belt. The UFC's their new shit now is always giving out these goddamn interim belts. It's corny. Those belts have no meaning to them. They shouldn't have them. Stripping Conor was stupid as well. I understand the logic, the whole that he's log jamming the division, but there's been fighters who've been out longer than that, and they kept their belts. Dominic Cruz, but yeah. I mean, eventually they stripped him after 2 fucking years, but no, Dominic Cruz, had the belt for that long. Yeah, so the interim belt's bullshit. If anything, if you're gonna strip Conor, then just have the winner of Holloway and Pettis fight Jose Aldo for the belt. Like the winner of that fight of whoever wins Pettis and Holloway fight Aldo, and the winner of that fight gets the belt. That makes a lot more sense instead of just giving Aldo the fucking belt, because it's stupid. I don't know. But at the end of the day, Conor's the real champ, because at the end of the day he starts Aldo in 13 seconds. So yeah, and according to Conor's team, he can still make 145. I mean, I think it's kind of crazy, but because he looked pretty beefy at 155, but if they say he can still make 145, hey, go ahead, try. But I think 155 suits Conor better. But if they say he can still make 145, they should not strip him of the belt. But the UFC does what the UFC wants. Yeah, speaking of that, they fired Matt Hughes and Chuck Liddell. This new company is stupid. I would have been happy if they got rid of the Reebok deal, but instead you got rid of Matt Hughes and Chuck Liddell, 2 fighters that people love in the UFC. Who else are gonna cut next? Like Forrest Griffin and shit. Stupid. And the rumor that they're gonna cut Goldberg and Joe Rogan. I mean, like it or not, those dudes are iconic as far as like the UFC is concerned. Like when you think of the commentators, you usually think of Joe Rogan and Bill Goldberg, and it's all over, and then Joe Rogan was like, this is a murderer's row. Every division is a murderer's row. But yeah, regardless of how funny you might find it, like Joe Rogan irritates me when he starts crying about the eye pokes and like, we need to change the gloves, and he starts going on a rant about it in the middle of a fight. I find it annoying, but it's also, I find it endearing about Joe Rogan. Like, you can't cut Joe Rogan. It's fucking Joe Rogan. You can't cut Goldberg. It's fucking Goldberg. Virtually identical. But yeah. Let's talk about boxing. Last week, Vasyl Lomachenko versus Walters. Holy shit, Lomachenko put on a motherfucking masterclass in boxing. I've never seen nobody fight like that. I mean, I've seen him fight before, but I mean, I never seen somebody do that to a high tier fighter like that. Nicholas Walters ain't a fucking joke. This dude creamed Nonito Donaire, and everybody he's fought, he's creamed, and Nonito Donaire isn't a walk in the park. You know what I'm saying? But this dude Lomachenko is on a whole different level. I mean, this dude, he might be Quicksilver for all we know, because like it's like he's fighting in a whole different time. Like, you know, I mean, he put his fucking hands down in front of this dude and charged at him, and Walter still didn't know what the fuck to do. And I don't blame Walters for quitting. You know, everybody's bad mouthing Walter, saying he has no heart, he has no this. Listen, none of you motherfuckers are gonna get in that ring and take those kind of punches for that long. He didn't have an answer for none of them. None of them. He had an answer for nothing that Lomachenko was throwing at him. He was just a walking target. And at the end of the day, I'm human. I take abuse. I'm gonna watch out for my health. I'm quitting. Like, there's nothing he could have done to win that fight. Lomachenko was at a whole different level, and yeah, Walters had no answer, and it was just frustration. And it's like, I'm not gonna sit here taking abuse, trying to figure out this fucking Rubik's cube. I'm quitting, and I don't blame him for that. Like, why are you gonna keep taking abuse like that? I quit. You know, just you got me, my nigga. We done. I'm never fighting you ever again in my life. Like, that was it. You know, and I gave props to Walter for that shit. He deserved. You know, kudos to you, motherfucker. Like, you can walk with your head held high. You tried, motherfucker. You tried. Like, all these people talking shit, none of them motherfuckers probably even got into a real fist fight, let alone a boxing match. So, yo, I'm not mad at you, bro. You got your money. You feeding your family. You know, you took your L, and you just keep it moving, man, because you know for a fact you wasn't winning that fight. And there's, I hope you fight more fights down the line. I like watching you fight. Rigondeaux called out Lomachenko after that fight. I would love to see that fight. They're talking about a catch weight. I said, cool. My problem is Rigondeaux is kind of boring. He's more defensive than he is offensive. What makes Lomachenko so amazing is that he's offensive and defensive at the same time. It's hard to hit him, but at the same time, he's beating the dog shit out of you. You know, he's amazing. Rigondeaux is more like Floyd. He'll hit you once or twice and then, you know, shell up and make you hard to hit him. Like, he just fucking moves around so much you don't know what to hit. I think he can't do that with Lomachenko. Lomachenko moves around too much. Lomachenko's too offensive. Rigondeaux losing that match, even if it's by decision, he still loses that match. I like Rigondeaux too, but I don't see him beating Lomachenko. Terence Crawford versus Lomachenko, that'll be a great fucking fight. Make that happen. Another good boxing match that passed was Sergey Kovalev versus Andre Ward. You could say the number 1 and number 2 fighter in the world, you know, going head to head. It was a robbery. I don't care what anybody says. Ward was getting cracked in that fight. I've even watched it. Personally, that fight should have never been a fucking pay-per-view. Let's get that shit out there right now. It did miserable numbers. I think it was like they said 100,000, maybe 200,000, like 150,000 buys. That's pathetic for two fighters that are supposed to be the number 1 and number 2 fighters in the world. First off, it should have never made it a pay-per-view simply because of the fact that Andre Ward has been inactive as fuck. He was out of the game for like 2 years, I think. So all that time when he had the momentum before he went on his little hiatus, you know, due to legal shit, but nigga was out for 2 years. Fans forget you're not fighting, you're inactive. And then the fight when you come back to, it isn't exactly your greatest performance. It was a pretty boring fucking fight. You won it, but it wasn't great. And Kovalev, you know, he's you know, he's been active, but Kovalev isn't a big name, you know, mainly because people don't want to fight him. So, like, what do you want? So, and then all of a sudden you make it a pay-per-view, which was incredibly stupid. You know, you're just wasting money because now you got to promote this shit as a pay-per-view. So you're hoping to make your money back through pay-per-view. And exactly what you got, miserable numbers. And I think Ward's inactivity and that also Kovalev isn't a star attributed to the fact that it did poorly, but also I think it, the reason why it did so poor as well was because boxing fans are jaded right now. I'm one of them. It's hard for me to invest my money in boxing when all these last couple of years, the best haven't been fighting the best. Everybody's been fighting fucking tomato cans. Everybody's ducking each other. So what happens is people stop protesting. They stop watching boxing. They stop supporting the pay-per-views. So then when you actually do put on a good fight, the fans are kind of over it. They're like, whatever. Then on top of that, sometimes a good fight takes so fucking long to make, or the fight that people want to see takes so fucking long to make, that when it does happen and it doesn't live up to the hype that what it's supposed to be, people don't want to waste money on boxing. It's just like, I'm not watching this shit. This is it. This is, all right, peace out. I'd rather go watch MMA. But these guys be bashing their fucking brains in. Best fight the best. You can't duck nobody because, you know, the UFC has it as a platform. Like, yo, you number one, then you fight number two. If you number three, then you fight number four. Or you number three, you fight number two. Like, you know, the best fight the best. Like, no matter how nice you are, one day someone's going to beat your ass because you're constantly fighting the best. It's not like you're constantly fighting Rod Salka over and over and over again, Danny Garcia. But, yeah. That's another fight we're going to talk about. Danny Garcia versus Keith one-time Thurman. About time Danny Garcia is fighting somebody for real. I thought he was going to fight Amir Khan again or something. Canelo. But, yeah. That's going to be a good fight. I think Danny Garcia gets knocked out. And, yeah. Danny Garcia is going to get that L on his record. That's another thing I don't like about boxers. Everybody's fighting to stay undefeated. It's corny. It's stupid. It doesn't mean anything. You know. Just like, it just doesn't mean anything. It just means to tell me you fought a lot of bums. So, yeah. You keep up with that. You're proud of that zero. Good for you. Let's talk about Canelo's bitch ass. Canelo versus, you know, Canelo needs to fight Triple G already. Stop the bullshit. You know, I got mad when he broke Triple G in the ring, started talking all this massive shit. I'll beat Triple G. This ain't a joke. And then all of a sudden, he vacated his belt and didn't fight Triple G. Then he started talking about he's not a true middleweight. But you fight at 156. Middleweight's 160. It's corny already, man. As somebody that used to like Canelo, I lost total respect for him, and I'm not supporting him till he fights Triple G. I'm not watching his fights. I'm gonna stream them shits. Fuck him. Yeah, fuck Canelo. And fuck boxing for doing that. Boxing just needs to get over this shit. First of all, boxing needs to cut all these fucking weight classes and all these fucking belts, because every Joe Schmo with a pair of boxing gloves is a champion nowadays. So you need to stop that first. So yeah, fuck Canelo. All right, we done with boxing. We done with MMA. Let's get into hip hop. Let's talk about the new J. Cole song. I was never a fan of J. Cole, and I'm still not a fan. But his new song, False Prophets, is really good. I heard it the other day, and I said, holy shit, this song is really fucking good. That first verse going at Kanye, dope. The second verse, everybody's saying that's aimed at Wale. So I had to like do some freshening up on Wale. And yeah, it's definitely aimed at Wale. Third verse, I don't know who's aimed at. Probably Drake. But yeah. It's a good fucking song. Props to J. Cole for that song. Still not gonna buy his album. It's a good song. I heard the other song. We All Gonna Die or some shit like that. Everybody Dies. That's a pretty good song too. It's nice. Yeah, I like it. J. Cole, you get props. The new Tribe Called Quest album, amazing. If you don't have it, go cop it. Yeah, I just wish there was a little bit more Phife Dawg in it, but we know why he's not on there, as much. Rest in peace, Phife. The new Vinny Paz album, the cornerstone of the corner store. Try to say that 3 times fast. Pretty good album. What you expect from Vinny Paz? It's kind of like Slayer, like you know what the fuck you're getting. Some of the guest appearances suck. Like they're pretty subpar dudes. That's the only thing I don't like about the album. That Vinny Paz put some whack dudes on there. Like they real subpar. I don't like Adolf the Assassin or Aguilar or whatever he calls himself now. I never liked his music. I don't like his raps. He puts a couple dudes on there that I'm just like, yo, dude, you could have just made that song by yourself. And that's another thing I hate in hip hop right now. The overuse of guest appearances. You know, if I like a rapper, man, I just want to hear you on the track. I don't want to hear you and your fucking 13 homies spread across a 15-track album. Yeah, but go cop Cornerstone of the Corner Store. It's a solid album. Besides a couple tracks that I didn't like, but besides that, it's a good head nodder. You know, it definitely keeps up the boom bap shit. It's dope. Let's go into metal. I just brought the Metallica. My brother just bought the Metallica album, and I was bumping it. It's a pretty good fucking album. I can't even front. It's definitely a throwback to like their prime. It's, you know, I guess somebody lit a fire up under their ass because it's really fucking good. I've been bumping it every time I go to the gym, so it's a pretty good fucking album. I ain't even gonna front. It's a pretty good fucking album. Another album I brought was Serpentine Dominion. Dope fucking album. Is Adam Derkowitz from Kill Switch Engage, Corpse Grinder Fisher from Cannibal Corpse, and I think the drummer from Abigail Williams, that he used to be part of Black Dahlia murder as well. I think it's Shane or Sean. I forgot his name. Yeah, it's a dope fucking. It's melodic death metal, straight brutal type shit. I definitely love listening to it before I go to the gym or during working out. It's fucking dope. Yeah. Oh, and let's talk about sneakers while I'm at it, because you know I'm a sneakerhead. I just copped the new Theodoras, the Bait Theodora collabos, the Spiaga Roses. Beautiful fucking sneaker. The quality on them is awesome. If you want to cop them, you're gonna have to cop them for resale, and they're probably going for like $400 right now resale. You know, Bait did a raffle. It was like 200 pairs of these sneakers or something like that. I don't remember the exact number of sneakers, but yeah, I won the raffle. But you know, I usually buy whatever Bait Theodora collaboration they do. You know, I got my pair and I love them. I also copped the Saucony Grid SD Pumpkin Spice sneaker. That sneaker's hard as fuck. The material on them is nice. Awesome fucking sneaker. I also copped the Saucony Grid SD, the Public Garden Pack. I brought the gray joints. Those shits is nice. If you don't got them, cop them. They're only $120 on Saucony.com. A lot of people are sleeping on those shits. Cop them. They're fucking dope. The quality's dope. I also copped the brand new Nike Air Cruise, the bone color ones. Cop them. They're dope. I like the Air Cruises. I got like 3 pairs of them. I got that in the memory of Mike. I got the gray and black joints, and now I got the bone joints. He just put out a pair all black with the white sole. I'm kind of broke right now because of Christmas shopping, so I can't cop those. But yeah, cop them. You know, and those are sneakers right now that I just cop. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I cop me a pair of Timberlands. You know, because I'm a Tim head. But yeah, if you could get your hands on the Bait Theodora, the Spiaggi or Spiaggia, I don't know how to pronounce that shit. Spiaggia Rosas, cop them. They're fucking gorgeous sneakers. They're probably they're probably my favorite sneaker that came out this year. Those shits are gorgeous. I think they're dope. Ronnie 5 put out a couple sneakers. The A6 Mize, Those shits are ugly. I think people just going crazy for it because it's Ronnie fight. So, it's like, oh, Ronnie fight put out a pair of sneakers, but they whack. He put out the gel light 3s, the salmon toes. Those are dope. I'm not a big fan of Asics. I'm more of a Theodora guy, but the gel light 3 is always like, I always see them and I'm like, I should cop a pair, but I never do because always a pair of Theodoras or Sauconys come up and I end up copping those. But them salmon toes look hard, and I think the malicious, those shits were dope. But those gel light 3.1s are gross. That ugly, clunky bottom. Ugh. Ronnie Fag, I fuck with you. You made some of the dope ass Theodoras, but those fucking gel light 3.1s are ugly. Yeah, man. That's my podcast for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. This is the Metabolic Chronicles podcast. I'm AnP, signing out from the lair of the Baphomet. I'm gonna try to have more guests on here, but not too many. But yeah, man. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Spread the word. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing this like once or maybe twice a week. So, peace out, bitch.